Okay, thanks everyone for joining. I haven't done one of these in a while, so thought I would do it. This is going to actually be probably relatively informal. I've got a couple slides really to help guide the conversation, but I'm going to be switching back between PowerPoint and the browser, and then some screenshots I've got. But I really wanted to. I was starting to look at the Smartypants Vitamins website. Smartypants, they do basic gummy bears. Not gummy bears. They're gummies that are vitamins. For kids primarily, and then they've launched adults. I think that's the sequencing. I'm actually a big fan of the brand and how they're doing and how they've positioned themselves, and all that. And let me preface it also by saying that I've done this really from an outsider's perspective. I have zero inside information, but just started looking at what they're doing on the site for traffic, for conversion, retargeting, and there were just some things that struck me that at least wanted to ask some questions about and pose some suggestions. There may be business reasons that they are doing the things they're doing, and obviously some of those things may be, you got to have that context. But I also think, frankly, that going through this process of showing some of the things that we might look at to help with optimization, really from all sides, but just kind of going to pick traffic and conversion and a couple of things Facebook related, thought it's worthwhile and can show off some things that other people might benefit from. So with that, let's start really with traffic. And one of the first things to notice and really to kind of to mention is that the importance between looking at mobile and desktop. When you look at, it's really easy, I think, oftentimes to look at mobile traffic or to look at desktop because that's the easier place to do research. But the reality is that more and more people are coming through mobile. And so one of the first things is if you actually look at search results on desktop here, you can see there are basically no ads that are showing up. They actually get the first position organic. They actually have the first few positions on organic, which is phenomenal, right? And so there's no competition for them, which is great. But then when you look at mobile, I'm going to pop that up in a second here. The results are very different, right? And so this is the search for the brand terms, and the first thing that shows up is actually Google Shopping. It's not even the ads. And these are Target ads, Target.com and GNC. These folks are selling both in retail and on their site. But the first thing really that shows up is Google Shopping. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. Not surprisingly, Amazon is the first paid ad. A lot of times that is. And then when you kind of go to the next level, you can see here there's VitaCost and then the company's own site, which is organic. But there actually are no company ads that are appearing here. So that's really a first question of, is there a reason why they're not doing that? Presumably margin on site is better than through a wholesaler, but they may have some special deals with folks on why they're not running ads there, and frankly their margin may actually be better for some reason with wholesale than direct. But typically that's not the case. So that was one thing that jumped out. I looked at desktop and mobile. Tablet can be another traffic source to look at. For simplicity's sake here, I've kind of left that out of the mix. But that was one thing that jumped out. I also talked about Google Shopping, and I think GDN as a retargeting platform has become pretty standard. Google Search, brand and non-brand, is pretty standard. But Google Shopping, as we saw, that oftentimes and increasingly for more and more retailers and physical products, that is showing up as the number one result above even these paid ads. So the fact that Google Shopping shows up here is an increasing thing, and I think it takes a little bit more work because you have to set up the feed, but it's not a crazy amount of work, and there are definitely people who know how to do it and know how to optimize. And so paying more attention to Google Shopping, I think, is an important part and an increasingly important part. And I think this is part of the shifts that are starting to happen. And certainly when if Google's engines are realizing that people are searching for Smartypants Vitamins to buy, they're going to put their retail links first in Google Shopping. So that's one of the first things that came to mind and what I saw from a traffic side. Next, if we look at their sales pages themselves, a couple other things jump out. And so I picked their kids complete product here in this case. And so one of the things I'll show is this is what their results are, their page looks like for on-site. And you can see the pricing is at $23.95 here. If we look at Amazon, the price is $17, and on Target, it's actually at $14. Actually, when I looked at this yesterday, it was at $17. So Target is tweaking their pricing. But what's surprising, again, is that on site it's $23.95 versus Amazon is $6 cheaper and Target is almost $10 cheaper. Obviously, this is one of the challenges you face when you have wholesale partners and these kind of retailers. They can set pricing, but this is one of these things that's surprising that presumably, again, the margin direct would be better than it is on wholesale, but it's such a substantial difference, right? And so when people are coming to the site, Amazon and Target and wherever else are a tab away, and when someone searches and they find these prices that much better, they're most likely going to buy through these other partners than they are direct. One other thing that kind of, I think, exacerbates this issue is what the company's doing to have both a find in a store and buy on Amazon links directly below the add to cart button. I'm all about making it easy, give people options, but I think for people who are Amazon buyers, they're probably going to go do that anyways. But to make it that easy for someone to just click and then to see that the pricing actually is $6, $7 cheaper, that's a subscribe and save. The one time is $18 still. It's substantially cheaper. And why would I buy through direct as opposed to Amazon? That's how a lot of people are thinking about it. So again, there may be business reasons they have to do this, but it does jump out as why make it that easy? Because also the problem is when someone goes to brick and mortar retail or goes to Amazon, you as a brand don't own that customer. And there are very specific things you can and can't do, especially with Amazon. And then obviously brick and mortar, those locations are owning the customer and have all the customer data. One other thing that jumps out when you look at both Amazon and Target is they have a subscribe to save and a continuity offer. So with Target, it's 5% off. With Amazon, it's 5% off, and if you get 5 items, 5 different SKUs across Amazon delivering every month, you get 15% off. The company site doesn't have that option. And I went through, and the store is basically managed through Shopify. There are absolutely some apps and plugins that you can use with your Shopify store to create a continuity offer. So, vitamins and supplements are natural opportunities to set that up. And at the very least, doing what Amazon does, which give people an option if they want it one time or a subscription. They obviously incentivize you to do that. That's a business choice, or you can test that out. But at least give people the option to set up a continuity. That's certainly dollars. It's meaningful dollars. It can add up over time, and just as important, it increases customer LTV. So those were a couple things from a pricing comparison. And how the other retailers are offering things. Next up is, talked about subscription, is video. And really nowhere on the site did I see much in terms of video. The only place was up here, which is this hero image, and it's semi-marketing and branding related, but there's nothing about benefits, features, testimonials, a letter or a message from the founders and owners. Video content is, again, increasingly more important. And the brand actually has some things on their Facebook page, right? And so at the very least, starting to leverage some of these things, potentially put them on site, try those things out. These things don't have huge views, although the brand page on Facebook actually has a decent number of followers, but certainly leveraging video content is something to absolutely consider, at least testing. Next up are upsells. And so what I experienced when I went through and purchased, there was no either pre-purchase or post-purchase upsell offer. Again, that's another big area for optimization. What I did get was, trying to grab that and bring it over, I got this email in my inbox which was separate from the order confirm, and it said I got 25% off my next purchase. Now, with Shopify, you can put in a one-click upsell after the fact. Ezra Firestone has something called Zipify that if you just literally Google Zipify and Ezra Firestone, you can see his offer. And that's a pretty slick app for Shopify stores. And essentially, you could put this same exact offer in place of the thank you page, or right in concert with the thank you page. And I gotta believe you're going to get more conversion while people are in the browser and on the page, as opposed to getting it in their inbox, and I got to click, and then I go buy. So the company's clearly trying to cross-sell and upsell, but just adding it in the Shopify store and in the browser is, I gotta believe, is going to convert better than putting it in someone's inbox. The other place to do the upsell is on screen, right? And so here's a brand, Paloho Essentials. They do essential oils and things like that. Once someone has added something to their cart, they just pop up a related item and ask if you want to do it. This doesn't even have to be done in Shopify. It can just be done simply in your cart, and I imagine Shopify has some apps for this as well. But having on-site and pre-purchase upsells, yet another way to do it. So whether it's pre-purchase or post-purchase, trying to get more out of that customer, especially when it's relevant offers, certainly increases customer LTV. And then when you're driving paid traffic, that is an important part of managing your media. Something else I got, so order confirm. I got an email with my order confirm, but I want to show something that is becoming more common. And Shopify and Facebook Messenger now have an integration where you can actually send the order confirmation through Facebook Messenger. So I ordered from No Foods. They do these basically bread products that are gluten-free, all that stuff, kind of irrelevant, really good products. But the more thing here is I got an email from them with an order confirm, but I also got a confirmation through Facebook Messenger. And if you just if it's shopify.com/messenger, you can learn more about all the different things you can do integrating Shopify with Facebook Messenger. But I got this order confirm through Facebook Messenger, which a lot of people are logged in, and while you're ordering, and it's yet another place. But here's the cool part, I think, particularly about this, which is if you can get people to engage. And so with your Facebook Messenger, then you essentially have added them to a list, and then you can actually, through tools like ManyChat, I'll just show. There's a tool called ManyChat, which essentially can behave like your autoresponder, and that's my personal one, but there's nothing private in there. But that didn't show what I want. But if you just look up ManyChat, you can use an autoresponder, and you can set up bots and all those kinds of things. But here's the other cool thing you can do is you can send people messages with offers directly through Facebook Messenger, and then they can click and go to buy. And then the other thing is this menu down here, you can customize that so that appears like however you want. So I can shop now, I can view the website, I can learn more. And so I've now created a new distribution mechanism and way to reach people just like email. And so people have been added to my Facebook Messenger list, and then I can broadcast them just like I would with email, and it shows up one-to-one. It's not a group message, but it's yet another way to communicate with people. And I think that's an opportunity, whether it's the order confirm or this kind of thing, that Smartypants could absolutely bring in. There's also a digital marketer podcast that they did here. If I see if I can get it to pop up. Here it is. So this is, if you look at, there's a podcast the digital marketer did called How a Digital Marketer Generated 500% ROI. They actually walk through the process, which again, I think is pretty darn slick. So something I would recommend looking at, both with order confirm and cross sells. The final thing, and there's not really a slide to show, but I'll just talk through, was email abandoned cart. So one thing I was surprised was that with a different email address, and actually really before I purchased, and this time, excuse me, I added a product to my cart. I added my email. I did not order, but I didn't get an email abandoned cart sequence. I got nothing in my inbox that said, hey, we noticed you didn't order. Did life get in the way? Whatever that messaging is. Again, this is Shopify, so there are absolutely apps to be able to plug in for almost any imaginable need, but certainly something like email abandoned cart is one of the things you can do. It doesn't take that much to set up. You create a couple test campaigns and copy. It could be very simple, like we noticed you forgot something. Did you forget to order? Whatever it is. But all these little incrementals, and this can add, low single-digit percentage points. All those littles will add up over time. So, just a few things. Again, I don't have the business context for all the reasons why some things are happening, But certainly, hopefully, these are some of the things that other people can apply, and hopefully, if Smartypants, I think there's some certainly opportunities for them, and if you're watching, you all to try out and put in place, and really that's it. So it's obviously if you have more insights and more insider information on how to manage, you can look at obviously managing the media, the different segments, the values of customers, all those kinds of things. But just wanted to do a quick little summary as I was looking through their site. And again, I'm a big fan of what they're doing, but just some things jumped out that I figured it was an opportunity to do a quick little video and write up on some of my suggestions. If anyone wants to reach out to me, here's my contact info. I'm kind of reachable on any platform. But hope people find some value from this, and I appreciate it. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.